When Paul healed a guy who was impotent in his feet at Lystra, the people testified. They said, the gods have come in the likeness of men. Amen and amen.
Amen.
The gods have come in the likeness of men. Today we want to just look at something in that regard. Amen and amen.
Amen.
Let's go to Joshua chapter 1. Praise God.
Hallelujah.
I'd like you to read the first 5 words in verses 2. 1, 2, go.
Moses, my servant, is dead.
Read the first 5 words again. 1, 2, go.
Moses, my servant, is dead.
Read it again.
Moses, my servant, is dead.
Read it again.
Moses, my servant, is dead.
Now read it again.
Moses, my servant, is dead.
Now, this is Joshua, the servant of Moses,
Yes, sir.
the man of God,
Yes, sir.
telling us that his master is dead. And he's acknowledging that actually he did not know. It was the Spirit of God that was once with the man of God that came to tell him. Because he's writing here, if you read in verses 1, now after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake to Joshua. So it was the Lord who came to tell Joshua, the servant of Moses, the man of God, that the man of God himself is dead. Wonderful. Because Joshua, the man of God, say Joshua always followed Moses.
Yes, sir. Always.
The man of God himself. So, when I write, I write the portfolios when I'm doing my studies, and I have the opportunity to write notes. When the Spirit of the Lord is talking to me, I like to acknowledge their portfolios. And so I was writing, and I said, Joshua, the man of God.
Yes, sir.
Then the Lord said, no, Joshua was never a man of God. I said, so who was he? He said, Joshua was the servant of the man of God, Moses. You see that? Moses himself was the man of God. Joshua was the servant of the man of God. And Joshua was never a spiritual son to Moses, the man of God, but rather a servant to the man of God. Praise God. Now, it's amazing. It's not as if Joshua, the servant of Moses, the man of God, was listening to the news, watching the news, to hear this breaking news. So it's not as if Joshua, the servant of Moses, turned on CNN and then heard the breaking news. And one would expect that God, being a good God that we say he is, he should not be a carrier of bad news.
Yes, yes, sir.
And the Lord came and said, Moses is dead. Now, wherever Moses, the man of God, went, say it.
Wherever Moses, the man of God, went,
Joshua, the servant of Moses,
Joseph, the servant of Moses,
always followed him.
always followed him.
Followed him. While the likes of them, Aaron, were always with the elders, waving at Moses. Help us greet God for us. Greet God for us. Tell God good morning. Tell God to remember what I asked him for on behalf of the people. Now, Joshua was a servant before he became a soldier, but even as a soldier, he was still serving Moses, the man of God, and became the commander of the army of Moses, of Israel. Yet, he was still a servant. What an excellent person he was.
Yes,
Yes.
As a commander of the army of Israel, he should have backed out, serving Moses, the man of God.
Yeah.
He knew without this man of God, he would never have been exalted to be a commander. But in any case, he followed Moses, the man of God.
Yes, sir.
Now, on this particular occasion, now, the Lord said to Moses, you will only see the promised land, you will not enter there. Now, go up to Mount Nebo, have a view. You know there's a country called Jordan.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Mount Nebo is actually in Jordan.
Oh.
So that's where Moses died. So Moses was looking at the promised land. And the distance between the promised land to Mount Nebo, or the distance from Mount Nebo to the promised land, was about 1,000 kilometers. That's quite a distance. Oh, you don't agree?
No, it is.
Why are you quiet today? Is it? Are you sure? I hope this virus is not come to you. So answer us now. I don't know about. Or maybe this service is not for you.
No, it's for me.
But for me, I'm excited to be in church. Personally, I couldn't have imagined just being at home watching TV. I like to watch movies, but man, not even on a service day. It wasn't close so that you can go home, right? But Moses was in Mount Nebo. Where? In Jordan. Jordan, not River Jordan. Jordan. There's a country called Jordan. So he was in Jordan,
Yes, sir.
looking at the promised land.
Yes, sir.
And we said the distance from Mount Nebo to the promised land
It's 1,000.
is about 1,000 kilometers.
Yes, sir.
That's quite a distance.
Yeah, that's quite distance. Yeah.
If you had to travel by road, you are looking at 13 to 16 hours.
Oh, okay.
Because from here to Atlanta, for instance, is about 800 and something
Yes, so
miles. You mean Moses, the man of God, could stand on Mount Nebo and see as far as Atlanta.
my God, what a sight! Lord God Almighty, that's a sight.
I see.
Honestly, Lord, my.
And Joshua was at the base of Mount Nebo. Moses did not tell him that he was going to die, because the Lord already told Moses, the man of God, that the day he climbs the mountain was going to be his last day. And Joshua never knew what God had already decided. But Moses did write to the people in the book of Deuteronomy that they were the cause of his problems. And then he laid hands on Moses, on Joshua, his servant, no doubt. And the Bible says the spirit of wisdom came upon him.
Yes, sir.
So it was the spirit of wisdom that revealed to Joshua
Yes, sir.
that Moses is dead. But Joshua didn't even know why he was ordained. Joshua didn't know. Because if you start reading about, if you start looking at the chronological journey of Joshua, the servant of Moses, you get to see that the people did not accept him
Yes.
at the beginning.
Yes, sir.
Please answer us now.
It's true, yes.
Even if you don't know, we are telling you it's the truth.
Yes.
Please answer us, all right? Please, there's no casket here. We're not doing burial service. Please, okay. So, what was it we were saying? The chronological journey of, you see why you should answer us, so that you don't delay us. When you look at the chronological journey of the ministry of Joshua, the servant of Moses, you get to see that the people didn't accept Joshua at the beginning. They didn't accept him.
Yeah, sure, they did it.
Why? Because Moses, the man of God, did not tell the people that Joshua was going to take his place. Because Moses did not tell them that he was going to die?
Yes.
Did it? He didn't. Please answer us. He didn't tell them he was going to die. So, as far as Joshua, the man of God, was concerned, it was business as usual. Moses, the man of God, likes to go and spend some time with the Lord. So you can imagine, all the while Moses will be on the mountain for close to 40 days. Joshua, the man of God, will be at the base waiting for 40 days till the master comes down. Wow, loyalty and service.
Yes, loyalty
and faithfulness. But in any case, as far as Joshua, the man of God, was concerned, he felt that this was more or less like the regular day, the usual thing. And only for the Spirit of the Lord to descend, to come and tell him, look, the man of God, your master that you are waiting for has gone. He's already dead.
Yes, sir.
So now it is you now that I want to use. And if I'm going to even use you, it will be preconditioned on one condition.
Yes, sir.
And the condition is that whatever Moses, your master, ever taught you, live by it.
Yes, sir.
Don't turn to the right,
Yes, sir.
don't turn to the left. So you can imagine now, Joshua, the servant of Moses, who once went out of the camp with Moses, the man of God. Everybody saw both of them leave. Now he's the only one coming. And he's coming to tell them. The boss himself has left already. He's not coming back again. Now, one would have wondered how Aaron would have felt. But Aaron was already dead. Don't forget. Aaron died before Moses left. God made sure these two siblings, these troublemakers, they left the scene. Miriam died. Then later on, Aaron died. So, Joshua was there. Somehow they had to accept him because everybody knew for the past 40 years he was always with Moses, the man of God. Everybody knew that. Now, let's read those 5 words again.
Moses, my servant, is dead.
Read it again.
Moses, my servant, is dead.
Question, is he? Because he says Moses is dead.
Yes.
The spirit of wisdom came
Yes, sir.
that rested on Joshua.
Yes.
The same spirit that guided Moses in leading 3 to 6 million Jews
Yes, sir.
said, Moses is dead. What does that even mean? No, Joshua didn't even but. Oh, so can we bury him? He didn't even ask. Well, where's his body? Is it okay if I go up to the mountain and pick his body? Say, look, the guy is dead. In fact, from the way the Lord spoke to Joshua here, it didn't even sound like the Lord was ready to take any question.
Exactly. It's a settled case.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The guy is gone.
Yes, sir.
And all Joshua could say is, yes, Lord. Okay, let's move on. You will be the one to cross them over. Now, remember, the Lord had been revealing secrets to Moses on what to do, what not to do when they get into the promised land. Now, you mean Moses was going to die with those secrets? Someone said, well, he had already revealed them in the law. He did, but not everything. And the Lord was still revealing things to Moses, the man of God, till the day he died.
Yes, that's the thing.
It's true.
So there were some things Moses never had the privilege to communicate to Joshua. And the Lord didn't consider that necessary. Why? He says, the spirit of wisdom from your hand, Moses, the man of God. Once you lay hands on the guy, it will enter him. He will know everything.
Yes, sir.
So what Moses needed to go up to the mountain to go and receive Joshua, just where he was, the mountain came to him. The spirit of wisdom came to him. Everything Moses had to go through to receive, It all came in a package
Yes, sir.
to Joshua,
Yes, sir.
where he was at the foot of Mount Nebo. He said, just follow the pattern. If Moses used to raise his right leg, start raising it. If he did, we're not saying he did, but if he did, okay. Read it again. Moses, my servant. Wow. Certainly you can't doubt that. I mean, this is God telling you. He says Moses is dead. Right? Can you read it again?
Moses, my servant, is dead.
Now, notice the Spirit of the Lord called Moses his servant.
Yes.
But Joshua was the servant of Moses. He said, Moses, my servant, is dead. Wow. You mean your servants can just die like that? It's amazing. Before Joshua ever began, Joshua, the servant of Moses, before he began in ministry, God already told him how he will end. God introduced the end of his servants to him. They die. Settle it. they die. He says, Moses, my servant, is dead. God introduced the end first before the beginning. Isaiah the prophet said, he sees the end before he begins.
Yes, sir.
You know, people think that the Lord, when you read in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Yeah. People think that the beginning pre-existed the end. No, the end actually does pre-exist the beginning. Because it is from the end God sees what to begin with.
Yes, sir.
But don't worry about that. It is not your it is from the end God sees how to begin. Which angle to start from. Yes, what materials to use. Yes, so he told him, the guy is dead. Moses, my servant, is dead. This is how they died. Okay. Now, remember, Moses was married.
Yeah. He was.
It's true.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
Even the Ethiopian woman he married.
Yeah.
God didn't even go to their houses.
Yeah.
To tell them.
Because he had two women, remember?
Yeah.
God didn't even go to visit them, to tell them, oh, look, your husband, don't expect him, he's dead already. God didn't owe them anything. As far as he's concerned, Moses is my servant. Moses is my servant. As far as he's concerned. Hey, leave her. Leave her. Okay. Thank you. Moses, he says, my servant is dead. God didn't even owe any of Moses' children the obligation of letting them know. So they didn't see daddy come home again. It's amazing. We can't find them. They don't even know where to find him. Anyway. But I want to confirm this death of Moses. Go to Jude. Jude chapter 1.
Jude chapter 1.
Jude is the last book before Revelations. And it's just one chapter.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go to verses 8. Let's start from verses 8. All right, read.
Likewise, also those dreamers defile the flesh, despise the evil of dignity.
Yet Michael,
The archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses, durst not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, the Lord rebuke thee.
Okay, now when he says the body of Moses, the word body there is the Greek word soma,
Yes, sir.
which means groups, right? But it was the wrong Greek word to use. It should have been flesh of Moses, which is sarx, S-A-R-X. Do you understand? But really, what Jude was trying to communicate is the flesh of Moses, the corpse, really, the corpse,
Yes, sir.
right?
yes, sir.
Because any corpse, any body without a soul is a corpse.
Yes.
Amen. Right?
Yes, sir. Amen.
The soul is the breath of God in a
Yes,
man.
sir.
Once it leaves, the body becomes a corpse.
Yes.
Amen. Now, please answer.
Amen. Amen. Yes.
But you don't know?
No,
Yeah,
we
I
don't
know.
Okay. Here he talks, Jude, the man of God, is talking about how people disrespect angels.
Yes.
He said, but he said it's no surprise, because even when Satan came to take the corpse of Moses, which was translated as Soma, instead of sarx, S-A-R-X, for flesh, when Satan came to take the corpse of Moses, Angel Michael could not even challenge Satan. Rather, he had to say, the Lord rebuke you. Now, do you know some people think that the Lord here is Jesus? Jesus had not come into the picture.
Yes.
It's true.
Jesus was a promise God made to King David in
Yes.
2 Samuel chapter 7.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the Lord there is the Almighty God himself.
Yes.
Sir.
And Michael in the Hebrew it means, Michael is a Hebrew word that means one who is like God.
Yes.
That's the meaning of the name.
Yes.
Some people bear Michael, they don't even know the meaning of that name. Michael simply means one who is like God. Of course, we do know some don't even look like him. Yeah, they bear the name. You could say Michael Jackson looked like God. If only he knew what that name really meant. But it favored him. Because some people started naming their children Michael because of Michael Jackson, not even Angel Michael.
Yes, sir.
Maybe his parents named him because of Angel Michael, but people started naming their children because of Michael Jackson. But anyway, he said, Angel Michael could not
Yes.
rebuke Satan.
Yes, sir.
Could. But had to use the authority of the Lord to do it. He says, the Lord rebuke you. But why was Satan even interested in the body, the corpse of Moses?
Yeah.
We'll come to that. We'll explain that. Don't worry, we'll answer that.
Amen.
But this does confirm what the angel, the Spirit of the Lord,
Yes, sir.
revealed to Joshua, the servant of Moses. This does confirm that Moses, the man of God, was truly dead.
Yes, sir.
Please answer us.
Yes,
Huh?
sir. It does.
Wow. How do you feel today? Are you okay? Are you okay?
I'm okay.
You are not answering us at all. You look sleepy. You look like you just came from the hospital. Are you sure you are okay? So please answer us, right? Or are you expecting the police to come and pick you up? So please answer us. If the police come, it is not you, it is me they will look for, because I am the pastor here. They say you come for service. Yes, we did. So don't let that be your business. All right? Answer us. Amen.
Yes, sir.
Even the police, they need God more than ever. Nazareth.
Honestly.
They're even afraid to arrest someone because somebody can do spit on their face. You understand? The police is going to say, if you come, I have coronavirus, I'll spit it on you. That's negative emotions. All right, so please give us your attention, right? Please answer us, right? So much we want to say, but I'm not sure. You know why? Do you know why we kept telling you, read Moses, my servant is there? It was because I couldn't move. I already know everything I want to say. Do you understand? You don't know.
I don't. Yes.
But here it says, Michael
Yes, sir.
had to come to defend the corpse of
Yes,
Moses.
sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And from the looks of things, It looks like he came to take the body of Moses away.
Yeah.
He did. Yes, sir.
Please answer us, huh?
Yes, sir.
He came to take the body of Moses away.
Yes.
He came to do it. From the looks of things.
Yeah. That's what it looks.
But it's not written that he took the body of Moses away.
Yes.
Not.
Not written. It's
Not written.
He said, but he fought the enemy. He fought Satan.
Yes.
Now, don't forget, Satan is an angel too. The Bible says the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And Michael could not push Satan away by himself. He had to say, the Lord rebuke you. And Satan backed out. Knowing that the boss himself wants this body, this corpse of his servant. Wow. What are you going to do with it, Lord? So this does confirm what Joshua, the man of God, reported that the Lord told him that Moses, my servant, is dead. Say it. Moses, my servant, is dead. Okay. So where Joshua, the servant of Moses, could not go to, Satan could come there.
Wow, yes. Yes, sir.
Amen. Now.
Yes.
Satan didn't need the Spirit of the Lord to come and tell him that Moses is dead. He knew. He went there. He went there. Of course, we do know that the Lord said to Moses, because you have not believed me, you've disrespected me before the people by striking the rock when I told you to speak. Go up to the mountain and die. And he died. Now, you need to understand, Satan did not, this angel called Satan, according to Job chapter 1 and chapter 2, never for one day confront Moses face to face. Did it? Moses? Even this angel, that even angel Michael, even angel Michael could not successfully by himself challenge Satan, but had to use the seal of the Lord God.
Yes, sir.
Like Revelation chapter 7, where an angel carried the seal of the living God to forbid the angels in the four corners of the earth from harming the earth.
Yes.
What angel Gabriel had to use the seal of the Lord to rebuke Satan. Angel Michael, an archangel, what he could not do by his own ability, but rather needed the authority, the delegated authority of the Lord to defend the corpse of Moses, the servant of God, before Satan.
Yes.
Satan himself could not stand before Moses while he was alive to challenge him. So it was a big deal that Moses died.
Yes.
Hey, you don't understand? It was a big deal. This guy died. Moses said, Satan said, let me go and find out. And I need his body.
Yes.
What I can do with this man's corpse? Like the woman with the familiar spirit in Endor. What she did with the soul of Samuel the seer. So you see, there has always been a pattern. Now, this thing did not happen in the days of Jude. It already happened long before Jude was ever conceived. Because the distance between Jude and Moses, you are looking at close to 6 to 7 million years.
Wow.
And Jude could see. Man, some men have sight. He could see into the farthest distance of eternity. Moses, who saw the beginning to report it, Jude saw his end. Some men have lived. Man, don't be short-sighted. You know all your Christian life, all that your pastor taught you. That's why I'm not a pastor. There's one of our sisters. We told her, I said, you are already pregnant. She said, no, I'm not. I said, but you are. She said, I'm not. I said, sister, you are already pregnant. And you are pregnant with twins. She said, I'm not. So we said, no problem. I just said it. I didn't. So, she said, amen. I received. Then, she said, she later called us and said she and her husband checked and it was negative. And I said, amen. I said, but I know you are pregnant.
Yeah.
So, she came to New Jersey to do her work, because she travels. Her work takes her places. Because when we told her she was pregnant, it was on the phone. So she came to New Jersey to do her work. She said, Bro.Osi, so she told me she was at social hotel. So I said, I'll stop by to say hello to you. She said, yeah, I would like to see because I'll be leaving the next day. So I came to see her. So I said, but you are pregnant. She said, she's brought it up. She said, Bro.Osi, you told me I was pregnant and it's amazing. I feel sad that I'm not pregnant. So I laughed. She said, why are you laughing? I said, because you're already pregnant. I can still see it. She said, amen, Bro.Osi. I always believe anything you tell me. But just that, well, I said, do you know that sometimes God can hide the children from you? I said, but I've already seen them. Anyway, she traveled back. It was 2 days after she said, Bro.Osi, honestly, I later went to check. I discovered I'm pregnant. So I called my husband, we checked again. And I'm pregnant. She said, but Bro.Osi, how do you see these things? Because this thing, it must work. This thing must work. Why do you need the aid of a medical instrument to know the sex of a child? When sight can show you, this one is a man, this one is a woman. Listen, we should be greatly feared in our lives. But Satan, Moses that I could never challenge. Here Jude is trying to talk about the disrespect of angelic forces. Even Satan himself disrespects even the highest hierarchies of angels, like Angel Gabriel, Angel Michael, who is an archangel. And the first time they ever met face to face to have an issue, it was over the corpse of Moses. Wow. So even a corpse that we throw into the pit to bury is of value to forces of darkness. Value. And angel Michael, out of several angels that the Lord had to be the one to defend this corpse in Jordan. Angel Michael once visited Jordan in history, because that Mount Nebo was where Moses, the man of God, died.
Yes.
That was where Moses, the man of God, died. Certainly that was where Satan and Angel Michael met face to face over a corpse of a biologically born man of God, that an angel never spoke about his birth.
Man.
Satan never fought for the body of Jesus, but fought for the body of Moses. This guy belongs to us. Remember, he is our own agent that raised him up. The Pharaoh's daughter.
Absolutely. Yes.
The vicious and the highest levels of the occult. We run it. This guy, we raised him up. Everything he knew the occultic way. Before he decided to switch camps. Okay, God, you have used him. He finally disappointed you at the end and died. Give him back to us. You understand? Yes, sir. Angel Michael said, this guy, no way. This guy, we need him. There are so many living people to fight over.
Lord, have mercy.
Wait, do you understand what we're
I
saying?
get it. I get it.
Is it boring to you?
Oh,
Aye.
no, we get it.
There are so many living. Joshua is even there. Satan, go and meet him. Satan said, who is that guy? Who is Joshua? Go and sit down. It is this guy that I want. This dead guy. Moses. In fact, it is now that we need him. We didn't need him while he was alive.
Better now, yeah.
We need him now. God, what are you doing with dead body? Then the Bible says God has no business, the living has no living business with the dead. Okay, Satan is saying, Lord, give him to us. And the angel Michael that was sent to defend this guy, by his own ability could not challenge Satan.
Yes.
Had to use the seal of the Lord to chase him away.
True.
And Satan backed her. So, what was it about his corpse? This guy. Man. You know, as we're talking to you now, I'm actually in the spirit.
Yes, sir.
In the spirit.
Yes, sir.
I'm actually in my neighbor. I'm looking at it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Hi. He says, angelic forces don't accuse people, but people can accuse them.
Yes.
Like Satan.
Yes.
That's the problem with Satan. He likes to accuse.
Yeah, he's accuser.
You, this guy, you are what business do you have with a dead body? This guy died with God being angry. Moses did not have a good ending with God. He died with God being angry with him. So, from the looks of things, it is over for him with God. And Satan is saying, God, why are you still interested? This is the same guy you angrily killed. That's why we told you in our yesterday's class. On that, what was the lesson we were teaching? The present revelation of Jesus. That God can be very wicked. If God, Lord have mercy upon me. If God wants to be wicked, He's a master. And now Satan is saying, Lord, you angrily killed this guy. You told him to die. And he even begged you. You refused to acknowledge it. Now the guy, when Moses was begging the Lord said, don't discuss this matter with me again. I said, go and die. And the guy went to die. Okay, so that means God, you are true with him. Joshua has taken over. Face him. Leave this guy for us. Give us dead body. And God is wondering, out of all the people that have ever died, Satan, why are you interested in Moses? He said, don't worry. Lord, don't let that be your business. I've been going to and fro, up and down the earth. And I found Moses' corpse. What is this angel doing here? Defend. Now, so, the person that could have killed Moses certainly must have been this angel who was defending his corpse. Because he was the one there to defend the body of Moses. So when the Lord told Moses, go up to Mount Nebo and die, Angel Michael was waiting for him. Certainly he was the one who killed him. And when you read the writings of Daniel chapter 12, you get to see that Angel Michael is the one who would defend Israel at the battle of Armageddon.
Yes.
But that's another subject. Okay. Now, when the Bible says there was war in heaven, this was not the war that Angel Michael fought against Satan. No, this was not the war. That war John was referring to is the battle of Armageddon that is yet to take place. Now, when people say, but the Bible says there was war in heaven, well, because John was writing it in past tense because he had already seen it. When we come to tell you the things that will happen in this year, at the 31st crossover service, we told you the global events, even all these things that are happening today, we told you all the global events that will happen, about 18 to 20 of them. We told you everything, they are all happening. Now, if you notice, when we were telling you, we were narrating it to you in past tense. We had already seen it, you were yet to see it. That's the same pattern. So when John was writing, there was war in heaven, he's writing it as a past tense to him because he has already seen it, but it is yet to take place. Alright? So that's different from this now. It's not as if Moses' corpse was in heaven. here in the earth.
Right, so it's in here now. Yeah.
Do you understand? So again, this confirms what the Spirit of the Lord revealed to Joshua, that Moses is dead. True or false? True. Please answer us that. Okay, now let's find out who disagrees with this.
Yes.
There's one person who disagrees with this. Go to Luke chapter 16. Because Jesus is the elder brother of Jude.
Yes, sir. Yes, he is.
Please answer now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please answer, right?
Yes, sir. The eldest brother.
Now, Jude, Apostle Jude happens to be the younger brother of Jesus.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Yes.
For
Mary.
for Mary, right?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Now, Joseph is the biological father of Jude and James,
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
the writer of the book of
Yes.
James. That's different from James, the brother of John. That's another James. Okay. That's the one Herod killed, that other guy. But this James, who wrote the book of James, Jude is his brother. And they are both siblings to Jesus by Mary for Joseph.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
But Jesus now disagrees that Moses is dead. And Jesus is not the only person who disagrees that Moses is dead. Because the Spirit of the Lord told Joshua, Moses is dead. Jude says even Satan wanted the corpse of Moses, the man of God.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Jesus said, no, Moses is not dead. And there are others who are in the corridors of the dead who disagrees that Moses ever died. Luke chapter 16. Let's go to verses 19. Let's read. 1 to go.
There was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fed sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table.
Okay.
Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom.
So the beggar died and went to Abraham's bosom.
Yeah.
Which means as at this time, Abraham is not alive.
Yes.
Because if the beggar died and went to Abraham's bosom, it means that Abraham was already in the realms of the dead.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay, let's read now.
The rich man also died and was buried.
Stop. Read from verses 22 again. Let's go.
And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. And Abraham lifted up his eyes, being in torment, and seeing Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom.
So the dead could see the dead.
Yes.
The wicked dead could see the righteous dead. So this was the domain of death. Paradise, which is known as Abraham's bosom,
Yes.
or what is called Abraham's bosom, is what is generally known as paradise. So paradise was once, and it was once in the corridors of the dead, in the domain of the dead.
Yes.
Please answer us. Now, this is not just any prophet narrating this story. This is Jesus himself. So he knew what he was saying, and this was not a parable. He said there was a certain rich man.
Yes.
And Abraham was not a parable. Abraham did live.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
And even though Abraham had died a long time ago, Jesus is still saying that Abraham is in the corridors of the dead. Now, in John chapter 8, Jesus once was teaching. He said to the people, if you say Abraham is your father, you will believe me and all that and all that. Then, when he was teaching, he said, are you greater than our father Abraham? Jesus now said, Abraham rejoiced to see my day. When? That means Abraham could see Jesus from the corridors of the dead. He could see the living
Yes.
from the domain of the dead.
Yes.
And so that day, Jesus was having that conversation with them. Abraham was seeing everything. And mind you, when did Abraham first start seeing Jesus? When Jesus started looking into the corridors of the dead, which is this story.
Yes, sir.
Because Jesus is telling the people how he first met Abraham.
Yes, sir.
From where he was, a living being. He could see into the dead and see activities of the dead.
Wow.
That is farther than what Moses could see.
Yes. Yes.
That is farther than what Moses, the man of God, could see to the beginning.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This was further than what Jude could see. Jude could see the dead of Abraham, of Moses,
Yes, sir, you're correct.
over 7 million years earlier. Moses could see the beginning.
Yes.
Jesus could see into the dead. Present tense into the dead. And see conversations.
Hallelujah.
Amen. These are biologically born. Which womb gave birth to you? What kind of womb gave birth to you? What have you become?
Yes, sir. I receive it.
The first book I ever read. I don't want to go into the story of that book, but one of the first foremost book I read of Dr. D.K. Olukoya, the General Overseer of Mountain of Fire, was Wasted Heritages in the Market Square of Life. It was a little pamphlet. The Wasted Heritages in the Market Square of Life. When I read that book, I cried. Many, many years ago. I cried. As I bought the book from the shelf, I started reading it. They had to tell me to go. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I was reading it. I cried. I prayed for 2 months. Every day. Oh God, may my destiny never be a wasted heritage. I prayed that prayer. I prayed that prayer.
Never be a wasted.
I still have that book. I just have to look for it, but I know I have that book. I brought that book to America with me. There's a reason why we told you, why we made reference to that book. Because I later realized from reading that book, hi, your mother carried you for 9 months. Is this what you became?
No.
Is this what you became? To die a gossip.
No way.
Not me.
To die the way you die. To die in apartment 2B.
No.
To be driving an old rickety car.
No, not anymore.
Living on welfare at the mercy of men. That's what you were carried for. 9 months born. They had a party to give birth to you. And you wasted. You allowed the system to waste you.
No way.
Meanwhile, men, biologically born like you, chose to be superhuman by choice. By choice. That's why I prayed that prayer for 3 months. May I never be wasted. There is a market square of life. Everyone comes there.
It's true.
How will people be looking at it?
It's true.
When Satan is fighting for the corpse of Moses. Satan was somebody God gave everything. Anything he wanted, God will approve of it. But this time, just a corpse of Moses. So God said, no.
Not this one.
Not this guy.
Yeah.
But Satan is saying, Lord, you killed him out of anger. Throw him away. Give him to us. God said, no. Satan, I always give you anything you want. When you wanted to attack Job, I permitted you. But this guy, this body. See, you don't know the spirits that are interested in your body.
Exactly.
You don't know the angelic forces that can fight for you. Certainly, Angel Michael must have been the angel that the Lord introduced Moses to when he says, be afraid of him. He does not forgive.
Oh God, yes.
Because Moses begged for forgiveness. And the Lord didn't. So it was certainly this angel that killed him. But yet this angel had to use the seal of the Lord to chase Satan away.
Wow.
This was certainly the angel who spat on Miriam's face.
Yes.
God have mercy.
Spat on her face. So while an angel can spit on the face of the living, he can defend the corpse of another dead.
Wow.
I love angels. Yes.
I'm not an ordinary Christian.
I'm not an ordinary Christian.
At least by now you should know.
Yes.
With this, you can't hear this kind of lesson and be heard now.
No.
How do you want people in the market square of life to see you at 75,
Exactly.
at 65, at 45,
Ooh, I'm so strong.
even at 25, at 18?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where were we? Oh, let's read about Jesus could see into the activities of the dead. Not even in heaven. In hell. He could see it. As he's seen, he's telling them. He was the only human being who gave details about hellfire.
Yes, yes.
He is the first.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
All that the people of Israel knew before Jesus narrated this story was hell was a pit, Sheol, grave. Jesus said there is more. There is an underworld.
Yes,
You have both the saints and the wicked together, having conversations, conversations of concern, conversations of interest concerning the living.
Exactly.
Ha!
Yes, sir.
And you want to come and hear sermons of how much God loves you.
Yes, who's talking?
When the dead in the corridors of the damned are discussing about you, the living, you want to know how much God loves you. For God to show you how much He loves you, He already gave you a gift. One, to explain what is happening in the afterlife, in the corridors of the damned, which the Norwegians call Valhalla. They are explaining things to you.
Oh, yes.
I will never waste in the market square of life. Never.
Never. Not in the market square of life. I would never.
That's what we said. If a grand master of a vicious occult is a colleague at work and is vying for the same position you deserve, do you think you can get it? Or he will blow you out of existence? Have you? You rather need to blow him out of existence. I like that, man. You know, I rather blow him out of existence. And I like that. You know what will excite me?
Yes, sir.
It will bring me joy if people start calling you a witch or a wizard. Because they have attempted to kick you at the cart. Then they say witch. They won't even say witch, they say winch. Wizard.
Yes, sir. I see.
You are too wicked. It will excite me. If somebody comes, but see, those your members, they are witches and wizards. I say, praise God. Praise God. Because they know why they are saying it. That they have tried, done something, and the thing didn't work. Now, Jesus, blessed holy Jesus, is preaching a sermon. People came to gather and he's preaching them the sermon of conversations of the dead. So say, you are scaring me. Jesus started it too. He started scaring everyone. But I'm not scared.
I'm not scared.
Don't worry, since you say you are scared hearing it, when you now enter there, you know that place. So you better you hear it. And Jesus was trying to let them know. You think this is it? There's so much happening. People are discussing you in the dead. You are paying attention to gossips. All those people who are gossiping, they don't even know who is discussing them in the corridors of the dead. Like we said in Valhalla, those who are discussing them. Ignore Valhalla is a Norwegian cosmological belief, but there's a truth to that. We'll discuss that someday. Ignore Valhalla. Let's not talk about it. This is it. This is even it. So this is it. All right, let's read now from verses 22. Verses 24 into, let's read that from verses 20. Okay, read from verses 24. Stop. The Lord said you said 22, so start. Let's start from verses 22. What to do?
And it came to pass that
the beggar died and was carried by angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and seeing Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy upon me, and send Lazarus
Read.
Abraham said, Son,
He called him son.
That
Okay, read.
thy lifetime.
Remember, let's read again. 1 to go from verse 25.
But Abraham said, Son,
remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things,
and
likewise Lazarus evil things.
but
Now he is comforted, and thou art tormented.
Read on.
And beside all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us that will come from thence.
You say between us and you, there's a us. This is a conversation in the afterlife. And Jesus was saying this.
Yes.
And Jesus later told the people, Abraham rejoiced to see my day.
Wow.
Wow. So Abraham saw Jesus hearing their conversation. Okay. Let's see one of the fascinating things we want to show you. Like we said, Jesus and even Abraham and those in the dead. This is a conversation. What we just read is a conversation between two dead people. Non-living, in the physical world. Yet they can still talk. By what air are they breathing? How are they communicating? And yet, in the afterlife, one still needed to drink water. One wanted to drink water in the afterlife. So that water you drink in the physical, where does it go?
I don't know.
We'll discuss that. Let's go. Let's read become time.
Then he said, I pray thee therefore, Father, that thou wilt send him to my father's house.
You see that?
Yeah.
This guy had already died. He said, send him back.
Exactly. To my father's house. The audacity.
Send him back to life. The gods are ascending. Send him back to life. He said, send him. I see. Send him back to life.
Yes, sir. Wow.
You mean even the dead can command another dead to go back?
Yes.
I thought everything is in the hands of God.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Let's read. Read. You,
My brethren,
That
they
they
may
may
testify unto them.
Let's
stop. Why are you reading like this now? Read the preceding verse again.
Then
He said, I pray thee therefore, Father, that thou wilt send him to my father's house. For I have 5 brethren, that he may testify unto them, lest they also come into this place of torment. Abraham said unto them, they have Moses and the prophets.
Wait. They have Moses and the prophets.
wow.
They have Moses and the prophets.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
That means the law had come already.
Yes.
And Moses is dead a long time ago.
Wow.
In the days of Moses was even the only prophet.
Yeah.
So this thing was more or less like a recent past.
Yes.
As at the time Jesus was discussing it.
Yes.
It was just something he saw recently.
Yes.
This thing had happened.
Yes.
He says they have Moses and the past. Now, some preachers have said when he says Moses here, he's referring to the law and the prophets. But you get to see that Abraham,
Yes, sir.
the friend of God,
Yes.
was not referring to the law when he says they have Moses and the prophets. Read.
Abraham said unto them, they have Moses and the prophets. Let them hear them. And he said, great father Abraham, but if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent.
He said if one comes from the dead, they will listen to him. Rather than listening to Moses and the prophet. Now listen carefully.
Yes.
He says they have Moses and the prophets. Let them hear them. So he's not talking about the law. He's talking about Moses, the man of God.
Yes, sir.
Let them hear them.
Yes.
Woo! Now Abraham did not say I can't send the dead back.
Right.
He can.
He said it, yes, sir.
But he will not.
Yes.
He said there are others who are already alive doing it.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
You see, that's why sometimes you wish Abraham will also permit this in our day. So that you can know that whatever we're teaching you is not voodoo. But we're actually telling you the truth. Because those who have crossed over will tell you, Bro.Osi is telling you the truth. He says, Abraham said unto him, verses 29, let's read.
Abraham
said unto him, they have Moses and the prophets, let them hear them.
And he said, no, Father Abraham, but if one went from the dead, they will repent. Read. And he said unto them, if they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded. What do you think Abraham is trying to say? Moses is not dead. Moses is not even here.
Yes. Abraham.
Wait, by the way, who told us the story of Abraham? Who was the first person to write the story of Abraham? Moses, the man of God himself.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Moses was the one who told us about Abraham.
Yes.
He wrote the book of Genesis. Right?
Yes, sir.
So Moses certainly is dead. And Moses should have been here with Father Abraham. Right? Because in John chapter 3, go to John chapter 3. Let's look at verses 13. So that you can understand.
Yes, sir.
Wait. Wonderful. Where did Moses go then?
Yes.
Look at verses 13, John chapter 3. Look at verses 13. Read. This is Jesus still talking. He said to Nicodemus, read.
And no man has descended up to heaven.
Stop. Read verses 12 into verses 13. Read.
If I told you everything and you believe not, how shall you believe if I tell you of everything?
You see that's the trouble we have today.
Right.
When we teach you things in the heavenlies, you get angry. You say they are occultic. He said little things you don't even understand. He's talking to a ruler of the Jews.
Yes, sir.
A supposedly doctor of the law, Nicodemus. Now, see what he now said. Verses 13. Read.
And no man has descended up to heaven.
What?
No man.
What? No man.
No man.
No man has ascended to heaven. Jesus said none yet. So where did Moses go? Because Jesus, the same you said,
Yes, sir.
that Moses is not in Abraham's bosom.
Yes.
So that means that Moses is not in the corridors of the dead. Now, neither is Moses in heaven either.
Exactly.
He's not in heaven, he's not in the corridors of the dead. So where is he? Satan said, give me his body. This guy that died is not dead though.
Yes, sir.
I need him.
Yes.
Angel Michael said, get out of this place. In the name of the Lord, get out of here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Abraham said Moses is not here. He's still alive, preaching. He is preaching. He's alive. He and some of the prophets are there preaching. Wait. Moses died a long time ago because Moses came before Jesus.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Amen now.
Yes, sir.
Abraham said Moses is not here. He's still in the earth.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
No, maybe the angel took him to heaven. Jesus said no one has gone to heaven.
Not yet.
No one has gone.
No one has gone yet.
I'm telling you the truth. Heavenly matters. No one is in heaven yet too.
Yes, sir.
Wait. Where did this guy go there?
Exactly.
Where did Moses go?
We need to know.
Yes, sir.
Matthew chapter 17. Woo, man. But I'm a success forevermore. Matthew chapter 17.
Yes, sir. You see to the end of it.
The gods are ascending.
God are ascending.
Alright, let's start from verses 1. 1, 2, go.
And
After 6 days, Jesus taking up Peter, James, and John, his brother, and bring them up to a high mountain apart. And the ships began before them, and his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elijah, talking with him.
They say they appeared.
Yes. He was just there.
What?
He was there. Oh,
Where did they come from?
Exactly, sir.
he never left.
Wait. So, now, how many of you knew Joshua pre-existed Jesus? Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? Because he took over from Moses, the man of God. He was a servant to Moses, the man of God, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Jesus said, no one has been to heaven.
Yes, sir.
So, Moses is not in hell because Father Abraham said he's not here. He's still alive in the earth.
Yes, sir.
Jesus is saying, no one has gone to heaven.
Right.
Yet, the Spirit of the Lord told Joshua, Moses is dead. Jude said we saw his corpse. Satan wanted his body.
Yes.
But the same Moses now is not in hell. The same Moses is not in heaven. Where is he? This is the first time they finally saw him. He's on the mountain.
Yes. Exactly.
Mount of Transfiguration.
Yes.
But he died in the country called Jordan.
Yes.
So that means that the angel took his body from Jordan and brought him to Israel and left him at the mountain there. So he's not in heaven. He's not in hell.
Right.
Now, if you even think, if this is true like we're reading it, then that means that Moses is still alive today.
Yes. Yes.
He's somewhere,
Yes.
but certainly not in heaven.
Yes.
And he's certainly not in hell.
Yeah.
He's still in the earth.
Yes.
Because those in the dead said he is not here.
Yes. Yes.
So when the Bible says grace split open
Yes.
and the dead rose, Moses was not one of them.
No, because he didn't die.
He was with Angel Michael.
Michael. Yes.
All the while, he was with Angel Michael. Angel Michael is not hellfire. Angel Michael is not heaven. He's an angel of God. An archangel of God. Moses is still with him. And Elijah, you see why also Elijah did not die. Now, Jesus said no one is in heaven. So, when the Bible says the whirlwind took Elijah to heaven, Jesus said no one is in heaven. So, where did Elijah go? Now, if you notice, there was a captain to the king, King Ahab, who was called Obadiah.
Yes.
He was the commander of the army. That captain was a wise captain.
Yes. Yes.
When King Ahab said, go and look for Elijah and bring him to me, the Bible says 50 of the armies went to look for Elijah. And they saw Elijah on the mountain. They said, man of God, come down. He said, well, if I be a man of God, let fire burn you.
Yes.
And fire roasted them to ashes. Except their bones. Another group of 50 went. They said, man of God, come down. He said, if I'm a man of God, they let fire burn. And fire fell on them. Roasted them as offerings. Then this third captain now was now sent. When he saw the ashes, he knelt down.
Yes.
Do you know what he said? Do you know what he called Elijah? He said, my Lord.
Yes.
He didn't call him man of God. You see that expression, man of God? He can provoke a man of God. Because your intentions can be heard in that expression, man of God. When you walk into say, man of God, the man of God himself, when he hears man of God, he has gotten a signal of why you came.
Yes. Yes.
Obadiah said, my Lord,
Yes.
I'm prostrated. He said, please have mercy upon me. He said, the 50 prophets, he said, right now, I'm personally, myself and my wife, we are personally providing for 100 prophets in the caves. I hid them from the king that I serve. He wants me to kill them, but I kept them, feed them. I know that. Please don't be angry. Don't destroy me. Elijah said, no problem. Because he heard this guy. He said, I'm taking care of your prophets.
Yes. Yes.
Elijah said, okay, no problem. Then the angel of the Lord whispered to him and whispered to Elijah and said, go down and meet him.
Yes.
So he came. He said, please, my Lord. My king said he wants to see you. Please, I'm not going to force you. Please. Well, Elijah said, go tell that fool, King Ahab, that I'm here. He should come and meet me. What? I mean, you are a subject to the king. Elijah said, which subject? He's beneath me.
Yes.
I'm a superior human being.
Yes. Superhuman.
Listen, good clothes is not what makes you superior. This guy was wearing animal skin.
Yes.
He could roast those who were wearing Jojo Armani.
Oh, yeah.
He roast them with their Gucci bags and all their all their Da Vinci swords. He roasted all of them. Elijah said, go tell him I'm here. Captain Obadiah said, please, sir, don't be angry. You know how God uses you. How God can take you from one country to another. That's the part I want you to see. How God takes you from one country to another. He actually said it. God takes you from different countries to another. Like that. Meanwhile, King Ahab has been looking for Elijah in all the countries around him.
Yes.
Because everyone in Israel knew Elijah for that. That he goes to different countries. So don't think that he was only a prophet for Israel. He was always going to different countries. Obadiah reminded him, say, please, you know how the Spirit of the Lord uses you. You move from countries to countries.
Yes, sir.
They say Elijah is here 1 minute. By the time we come there, the Spirit of the Lord has taken you away. Please, please. Can you keep your word? He said, yes, I'll keep my word. Go and tell him I'm here. I'm waiting for him. As a matter of fact, I have good news for him. That's why. But go tell him. Now, you have good news for him. Yes, you've roasted 100 soldiers. Yeah, go and tell him. Tell him it's time for rain to fall.
Yes.
Go and call him. Say, thank you, sir. God bless you, sir. And he went and brought Ahab. And Ahab, King Ahab, are you the one troubling Israel? See this fool. Elijah said, you are the one troubling Israel. It will not be well with your... Anyway, it is because God says, I should open the heavens. I would have frustrated you. And after I give the prophecy, it disappeared again. So when the Bible now says the whirlwind came to take him away.
Yes, sir.
Now, when the Bible says he took him to heaven, it was because of the way the whirlwind ascended up. It doesn't mean that he went to heaven. It just means that he took him away.
Yes.
And he probably went to another country.
Yes.
Because they knew Elijah for that. That was why he was looking forward to the journey. It was something the sons of the prophets already knew. Everybody knew in Israel Elijah goes. The Spirit of the Lord will just make him disappear and not that. He will go somewhere else. And then later on he will emerge again. It was something he was known for.
Yes, sir.
So how can death even locate him?
Exactly.
If you are planning to kill him now, he's already gone somewhere.
Yes, sir.
You keep planning, he's gone.
Exactly. I like that one.
But notice, the same man of God now appeared with Moses. They appeared.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Hi. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's my time, my turn.
All in all, Joshua chapter 1 now. All in all. And what they were discussing with Jesus, we were never told. It's not, they were not interested. Apostle Peter already fainted. He said the only thing we heard was the majestic voice from on high saying, this is my beloved son, in whom I'm well pleased. Now, Joshua chapter 1, read verses 2, the first 5 words again.
Moses, my servant, is dead.
Why are you reading that way? Read again.
Moses, my servant, is dead.
Read it again.
Moses, my servant, is dead.
Now, from all that we've read, studied, is this really true?
No.
Does it mean that the Spirit of the Lord lied?
No.
Because Jude said we saw his corpse.
Yeah.
Abraham said he's not here. Jesus said no one has gone to heaven. Then we finally saw him at the Mount of Transfiguration. How do you think Joshua would have felt? So Joshua died, probably was in Abraham's bosom before they all went to heaven. Only for them to get to heaven. He's looking for Moses. Moses is still in the earth. And he's saying, wait. But you told me he's dead. He said, he's busy. He has assignment. He's still working. And Jesus, the venerable Jesus.
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
His Eminence, Jesus, is the one narrating all these stories. He said, really, Moses is not dead.
Yes, sir.
But the Spirit of the Lord told Joshua, he's dead. Leave him for now. But Jesus said, actually, he's not dead. He's somewhere. Ash.